Hello, beautiful yogis and yoginis. Thank you for joining me for tonight's flow. It is going to center on the full moon and the equinox, which is today. And we're going to begin by grounding ourselves by starting out on our backs. So optional props, maybe a strap or a block or a blanket. And we'll set ourselves up in this lovely hip opening pose. This class is also going to be pretty much pretty much focusing on hips. So starting right off, by bringing the soles of our feet together, I'll turn slightly at an angle here so you can see me, and laying on back, drawing the ankles or the heels either closer or further away from you, depending on what feels good. And just letting the back of the head, the shoulders, and the back of the pelvis begin to ground. And you may feel a stretch depending on how tight your inner thighs and groin area is. It may be intense or not so bad. If you feel like you need a little support, you could tuck a pillow or a block on the outer edge of those thighs and just let the thighs relax into that support. Your choice here. And then your hands can rest either out wide, or you could bring them to a cactus shape. Could be really nice for the backs of the shoulders to open up in that manner. Maybe one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. Whatever feels kind of restful and inviting for you. Take that position and let your eyes close. And begin to surrender your body to that surface below you. So you want to feel the weight of the body just letting go. Maybe concentrating on those points of contact that your body is making to the mat. Feeling the edges of the feet. Grounding through the tailbone and the sit bones. Feeling the backs of the shoulders and the back of the head, all releasing and getting heavy. Relaxing the jaw and feeling the front of your shoulders just beginning to soften. Giving yourself permission to just arrive in this space and into this shape. Letting your mind begin to empty and your thoughts to clear as you gently shift your awareness from your external world and more into your internal world. Using your breath as a means of anchoring yourself into that space and just gently tracking the passage of breath with your mind's eye, as you begin to breathe steadily and intentionally in and out through your nose. So this inward shift of our awareness follows the change of the season that we are experiencing today. We're moving into the fall season and we're leaving behind the energy and the expansiveness of summer, and we're moving in towards the quietness and the retreat of fall and winter. So our practice should shift with that energy, and we should kind of mirror what's happening on the outside inside. So just allow yourself to begin to pull inward, letting thoughts and energy draw and land on that breath. And use the breath to just anchor you into this moment. Relax your body. If you're feeling tension anywhere, can you direct your breath and your thoughts there? And see if you can just soften. So the equinox is an event that brings us a duality. There's an equal amount of daylight and night, right? And those two energies exist in all of creation. It's the yin and the yang, the feminine and the masculine, the lunar and the solar. And that's within us as well. So we use this time to just appreciate that we have both of these energies within us, and then we try to bring them into balance in some way. For our practice tonight, we'll kind of flow with that idea of matching our energies, bringing a little stillness to the activity, a little softness to the effort, just seeing if we can play with that. And we'll practice a moon flow this evening. So if you've never done a moon salutation, it's very different from our sun salutations in that it travels from side to side on the long edge of your mat versus forward and back like a sun salutation. It's a little more restful, a little more grounding. Oftentimes during full moon, we can feel very restless. We can feel the pull of the tides. So it's a grounding practice that I think will be really appropriate for tonight. So taking another deep breath in wherever you are, open your mouth and let it go with a nice full exhale, releasing that breath all the way out until you feel empty. And slide your hands down to your outer knees and just bring the knees together and walk them out as wide as your mat. If your arms aren't already in cactus, let's bring them to that position now. And just gently let the knees fall from side to side in a windshield wiper pattern. We'll begin to feel the hips starting to wake up. You're welcome to turn your chin in the opposite direction of where your knees fall and just add a little bit of stretch into the neck at the same time. Gently moving with control and moving with ease. We're not forcing anything. We're just letting a little bit of fluidity come into our body. Good, and then bringing the knees back towards center. Let's have them into the chest. See if you can pull your tailbone off the floor. Just breathe some space into your low back. You can grab opposite elbows, maybe. Just lacing your forearms across your shins. Anything that feels good here. And then just peel the back of the head up and draw your nose between your knees, rounding the spine. And then release the head back and down. And we'll cross our right ankle over our left thigh, spreading the hands to clasp underneath that left thigh, and then gently pulling the thigh in as we press it away and into our hands at the same time. So coming into a supine pigeon pose or figure 4 on your back. If you can, take your right elbow and press it into your right inner thigh, gently drawing that knee away from you. Try to anchor the back of the head, the tailbone down, and relax the shoulders and the face as you breathe into a pretty intense hip opener here. Outer hip and glute is the focus area. Flex your feet. And keep your right ankle in line with your right knee, just for the protection of the knee itself. Hug in that thigh a little bit closer if you can. Press the right thigh away, creating a little bit more space from the thigh to the knee. And then we'll release the hands, let the left foot drop down, and then you're going to release that right foot over to the left side. Bring it all the way down and bring your right knee up to the sky. So the sole of the right foot is on the mat. And you're just going to breathe here, a little bit different stretch, pressing into that right foot, feeling the engagement of that outer hip. You can turn your chin in the opposite direction here if that feels nice. And then maybe slide your right hand behind your head. Little option for some oblique work. As you inhale, you'll kind of crunch up to the left as you bring your right elbow to the left side. And as you exhale, you'll bring it back down. A couple more like that. Inhale to crunch, just working the sideways. Exhale to lower. Inhale, take it up. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale up, hold, and then release to bring it down. Roll back onto your back. That left foot stays grounded. Bring your right foot in and reach for your big toe with your two peace fingers, yogi toe lock. Let's go ahead and extend that heel up towards the sky. Now this could be an opportunity to reach for your strap if you'd like to use it here. We're working to open up the hamstring. Press the heel up towards the sky. Any degree of straightness or no straightness, if you're super tight here, you're just going to direct your breath into those larger muscles, back side of your leg. For a little more intense stretch, maybe slide that left heel forward and lengthen out that left leg. Keep working on drawing the toes down towards you, the thigh in, and just breathe. If it's helpful, you can bring your left hand to the front of your left hip to ground you down a little bit. If the toe grip isn't working, you can certainly grab your ankle or your shin, anything that feels right. And then we're going to transition by letting that right leg fall out to the side. So as you do this, you're going to feel that left sit bone and hip wanting to pop up. Do your best to keep the sit bones level and grounded. Draw your right toes towards your right shoulder, flex your foot, and spread your toes nice and wide. Breathe into this shake, big stretch for the inner leg lines. Keep your breath steady, check in with your breath. Notice if you might be holding on to it. And just encourage a deep breath in, and a long, slow exhale out. Good, one more breath in, kick through that heel, draw the toes up. And on the exhale, just simply draw the knee into the chest, give yourself a good squeeze. And then release that right leg nice and long. Pause, close your eyes. Just take a moment to reflect on the difference between the two sides. Maybe you're feeling some warmth in that right side, some additional length, like you've had a nice taffy pull on that leg. Beautiful. Walk the feet in and bring the left ankle to the right thigh this time. Pick up the foot, thread your hand behind the thigh, and with both feet flexed, go ahead and draw the thigh bone in as you work to press that left inner thigh away. So using that left elbow, keep your feet flexed, your arm engaged. Soften tailbone to the ground and relax any tension that you might be creating in your jaw, in your shoulders, and breathe. Working to balance out your effort with a little bit of ease. So as you get a little stronger and maybe intensify the stretch, on the exhale, maybe soften a little bit more into it and see if you can go deeper. Breathing in and breathing out, release the clasp of the hands, let the right foot fall to the floor, and then let the left foot fall over to the right. So the sole of the foot is planted, the knee is pointing up towards the ceiling, cactus the arms here, press into that left foot, and maybe turn your chin to the left. Just working another angle here on that IT band, your glute muscles, outer hip area. And then sliding left hand behind the head if you'd like. You can just stay here, or if you'd like to add the crunch, let's inhale, twist over to the right, and then exhale, bring it back down. Inhale, lift and twist. Exhale to release. Again, inhale, up and over. Exhale, take it down. Last one, inhale, up, let's hold. And exhale to release, beautiful. Roll back. And then bring that left toe in, maybe yogi toe lock or a different grip, and just extend this leg long. Oh, give a good welcome to your hamstrings on this side. Mine are very talkative on this side. And maybe you reach for your strap, right? Each side is going to be a little bit different, so kind of customize your practice as you need to. No judgment on how your leg looks, okay? We're not here for that. We're really just here to feel into our bodies and to bring it the most benefit through our intention, our awareness, and our breath. Switch up the grip if that yogi toe lock isn't working for you. And maybe intensify it by just sliding your right heel forward, flexing your foot, going a little bit deeper. Nice. All right, let's take it out to the side. So slowly lower it to the left, bringing right hand to the top of your right hip to anchor yourself down. Press through your inner ankle and heel. Flex your toes towards your left shoulder and breathe. Breathe into this side. For my runners and other people that do a lot of working out, this should feel really nice, helping you to lengthen your muscles, opening up. One more breath in. And on the exhale, just draw your knee into your chest, give it a good squeeze. And then release that leg long, soften the feet, release the arms, and just pause for a moment. Finding balance. Breathing, letting go. Good, and then draw the knees into the chest, give yourself a good hug. And then with chin tucked to chest, we're gonna rock up. Place your feet on the mat and then thread your arms through, making it like a little steeple, and exhale as you come through with a hop. As we inhale, we'll roll back, maybe lift your hips off the mat. Coming forward, plant the feet, exhale, hop. Again, inhale, take it back. Come forward, plant, hop. Couple more just like this. Going ahead and opening up the muscles along the spine. Should feel really nice. Maybe close your eyes, be a little playful, be gentle. And on your next time, as you come up, shift your weight forward, lean out of your low back, and then take it on back, sit upright. You'll bring your hands to your shins, just underneath your kneecaps, and lean back so that you feel your sit bones and your tailbone, creating a little triangular space for you to rest on. This is like your little sacred spot here. Maybe begin to lift one foot, bringing the shin parallel to the mat, maybe the other. As you do this, try not to collapse into your low back, but lift from the center of your chest. Maybe hold lightly onto the backs of the thighs, or even place your hands back behind you for some kind of support. If you feel like you can hold this, keeping your core engaged, maybe you release your hands. You can flex your feet, you can point them, you could even try to extend them nice and long. Wherever you are, keep your chest lifted, a nice big smile on your face, feeling a big opening in our heart space, a big engagement of our core. Reaching the energy out through the toes and fingertips. Shavasana pose. One more breath in. On the exhale, gently cross your ankles, come upright, and let's take an easy twist to the right, bringing out the spine, letting the abdominals stretch themselves out here. As you breathe in, find nice long length in your spine. As you breathe out, just see if you can turn your gaze, your ribs, wrap that right shoulder back, looking towards the back of your mat. Beautiful. Breathe in here, nice and long. Exhale, unwind as we take it over to the other side. Plug your fingertips behind you, close to your tailbone. Sit up tall, breathe in. Exhale, press the back of your right hand into your thigh and make that nice rotation. You'll feel your belly move to the left, your ribs, even wrapping left shoulder back as you look past it. Draw yourself up nice and tall on the next breath in, and on the exhale, gently unwind. Let's come on to hands and knees, and we're going to go ahead and begin a hip opening sequence, kind of adding on to where we were. So pad up underneath the knees if you need a little extra support. Walk your hands forward of your shoulders and spread your fingertips nice and wide. As you breathe in, you'll send your chest forward. And as you breathe out, you're going to roll to the right. Swing your sit bones back along your heels. Roll over to the left and back to the center. So one big circular motion using your torso. Getting into the hips, getting into the shoulders. You can even let your head go and let your neck kind of move around. And do not be surprised if you hear some releasing, some sounds. Could be in the knees, it could be in the hips. Just let that happen. You're stirring up the stagnant space and creating space for new energy to move in. That's what we want. You're going to pause at the back and begin your circles in the opposite direction. So moving counterclockwise if you were going clockwise, or the opposite way. Whatever it is, just be with yourself and with your flow and your breath. Don't try to overthink it in any way. Make this kind of organic and flowy in feeling. Really tapping into that lunar energy, which is water, the element of water. Good. Bring yourself back to center. I'll turn so you can see me from the front. You're going to pick up your right knee and you're going to cross it in front of your left. Walk your feet to the far edges of your mat. So can you see my feet are on opposite sides of my mat? And we're just going to shift our weight back towards our heels. So you're going to sink your chest down, stretch your fingertips forward, and breathe into this shape. So I'm hoping that you can feel this in your outer hips. Try to bring some balance into this pose. If you really feel like you're efforting, can you soften somewhere and make it a more manageable, more pleasant experience? When we get into the hips, oftentimes there's a lot of discomfort, but the more we practice, the more we create space there. They're said to be the storehouse of all of our untapped and kind of undealt with emotions. So many, many, many feelings can come up as we work in this area, but it's so good to process and to kind of clean out the closets of your body temple. Take one more breath in here, sink back a little further if you can. On the exhale, come back and up, unthread your right knee and bring it back behind you. Let's create some nice big circles now with that knee. So continuing to work this right hip joint. You're going to make these circles as big as you possibly can. So drawing the knee back, out, down, and around. Think of yourself as and oiling your body up. Really, really healthy. Encouraging that synovial fluid to produce. And then we'll take that right foot and step it to the outside of the right hand. Walk your left knee back a little bit more. I want you to get your legs a little more spread out and untuck your back toes. Bring yourself upright, even onto fingertips here if you'd like, or you could use a block. And just let the front of that left hip begin to sink down. Lizard pose, really, really yummy hip opener. If being upright isn't feeling good and you need to kind of come on down, I'm going to turn around so you can see me. You're welcome to do that. Remember, this is your practice. So we're going to take our left fingertips and kind of angle them off the mat. Then pick up your right toes and angle them off the mat too. So they're turned out like a ballerina. You're going to lean into your left hand and your right hand is going to come to your inner thigh. And you're just going to turn your chest towards the right. Maybe that right hand presses your right thigh away from you. As you do this, let the front of your left hip drop open. Maybe you roll on to the outer edge of your right foot. Just be in your body in this moment. Use your breath. And let the breath really work through any resistance that the mind may be creating. So that monkey mind loves to pop up in moments like this where we're asking the body to do something that might be a little bit challenging. Use your breath, stay with it, and then we'll unwind. So pivot your right toes back to face the top of the mat. Bring your right hand to rest right inside your foot. Lean your right shoulder into your knee. Pick up your left knee and then drop your left heel all the way down. By pressing into the knee and anchoring the shoulder, can you lean into it enough to lift your left arm up? Push into the outer edge of your back foot. Engage this back leg nice and strong. Bend deeply into your front knee. Big hip opener here. Turn your chest. Maybe your gaze looks up at your top thumb. Maybe it's straight forward, or it could even be down at your hand. Right? Just kind of tap into how the neck is feeling tonight. And if this is okay, find your position, whatever feels right. Release the left hand down and walk your hands out 45 degrees. So we're coming to an angle here. The legs remain the same. As your fingertips walk away, stretch your heart towards them and then press your hips back. Breathing deeply into this fairly deep stretch. Your hands could be on blocks if you need to elevate a little bit. Try to sink as deeply into it as you can, stretching the heart towards the fingers, shifting the hips back. And then walk your hands in, take your time. We're going to straighten the right leg and then bend into the left knee. Keeping that right leg straight, we're going to come to balance on those left toes. So your heel is lifted. You're sitting your left sit bone onto your left heel, Skandasana. One or both hands maybe come to the heart center. This will be the first of two opportunities to practice this pose. So if you fall out of it, don't worry. Right? Falling is always a good teacher, good measure of where we might be. Beautiful. Flex your left toes back towards you. And then release your hands down to the mat. We'll take a quarter turn and pivot. Back of the mat. Let's step back to downward facing dog. Breathing into your first downward dog. Planting the hands, shifting the hips way up and back. Stretch out your hamstrings. And then take any movement that the body is asking for. Movement or stillness, right? You could go either way. Take what feels good. Invite it in. Breathe it in. Beautiful. And then we'll shift forward into plank pose. So lift high onto the toes, shift forward into plank, press the earth away, and find a little rounding between the shoulder blades here. Pull your navel in and up, press back through your heels. Keep your neck in line with your spine. Feel nice and strong as you engage all of your body. Gently lower the knees down, and as you inhale, bend your elbows, come down halfway. Exhale to press back up, little push-ups. Inhale, halfway down. Exhale to come back up. One more, halfway down and back up. And now shifting back, pick up your left knee and thread it in front of your right. So taking the sequence on the other side, walk your feet out to opposite edges of the mat, and then begin to shift your hips back, sinking the chest down, sinking the sit bones back and down as you extend your arms forward. Just take a moment to settle in and to feel how this side is speaking to you. Make a note if you need to adjust in any way. Check in with your breath. Try to keep steady as she goes here. One more breath in. And then on the exhale, bring yourself back and upright. Unthread the left knee and bring it back up behind you. We'll come into those big knee circles. So take it out to the side and around. Try to make this as smooth of a circle as you can. You can switch directions. I don't think I mentioned that on the other side, but of course, really be in your body. Beautiful. And then stepping that left foot to the outside of your left hand and walking the right knee back and untucking the toes. Just taking a moment here to stretch the heart forward, to look forward, and to really dive into the front of your right hip. So the psoas muscle getting a nice stretch here. You can give that right glute a little squeeze and you'll feel a deeper stretch. Ooh, yeah. And then your right hand is going to angle off the mat. You're going to pick up your left toes and angle them off the mat. As you lean into your right hand, take your left hand up, place it to the inside of the left thigh, and then we're just going to turn the chest to the left. You can roll onto the outer edge of that left foot, dropping the front of the right hip towards the mat as you turn. Breathing into it. Noticing where you could let go just a little bit more. And then release. Pivot those left toes back towards the top of the mat. Plant your left hand inside the foot. Pick up the right knee and then drop the right heel all the way down. Connect shoulder to knee and rotate open to the long side of your mat. Pressing into the outer edge of that right foot. Wrapping your left ribs underneath you, rolling the right ribs up. Here comes Blue, joining us for yoga tonight. Hi, mister. Hi, thanks for the kiss. Stay here for one more breath. And then exhale as you bring your hands down out at a 45-degree angle. Fingertips in line with your shoulders. Stretch your heart towards them as you press your hips back. Woo! I don't know about you, but I can feel this. Such a great pose. Keep stretching the heart forward, shifting the hips back. And then walking the hands in, we'll straighten that left leg, bend into the right knee, Skandasana on this side. So the left toes lift, you draw them towards you, bringing one or possibly both hands to the heart as you balance. Staying upright, shoulders over the hips. Breathing, feeling the wobbles. And then releasing, beautiful. Let's take that forward turn towards the top of the mat. Stepping back to downward facing dog. Stretch your hips up nice and high. Breathe in. On the breath out, forward to plank pose. Holding in your plank one more time. Pressing into the hands, resisting the pull of gravity towards the earth. Stay lifted, stay engaged. And then slowly lower all the way down, bending the elbows, hugging them into the knee, into the ribs, and untucking your toes here. Sweep your hands back and turn the palms down. We'll do a progressive locust pose. So just follow with me here. As you breathe in, you're going to anchor your hands in the tops of the feet, and you're just going to peel your chest off the mat. Wrap your shoulders back, squeeze the blades onto the back, and lift your heart forward. Take a breath in, and then exhale to bring it down. Adding on the next breath in, plug into the tops of the feet, lift the chest, and then float the arms as well. Palms are facing down, spin the thumbs up, and go ahead and reach long through the fingertips. Lifting out of your low back, breathe in, and then exhale to bring it down, maybe ground the forehead to the mat. All right, last time, making this the three-part locust pose. Inhale, lifting the chest, the arms, and now the legs as well. Really sparkle your toes and your fingers as you reach back and out. Lift your heart forward, reaching in both directions. Big breath in, and then exhale. Make a pillow by stacking your palms. Rest the forehead here, and just shimmy those hips from side to side. Give yourself a little reset. Breathing in and breathing out. Beautiful. Hands now alongside the lower ribs. You can press up into plank or through hands and knees. Back to beautiful downward facing dog. Stretching those hips high. Relaxing your head. Shake it out. Yes and no. Draw your heels towards the floor as you press your chest back towards your thighs. Let's lift that right leg up. Stretch it back. Step it through up by your right thumb. Take a breath in to lengthen. And as you breathe out, stretch that right leg to straight. Just breathe here. Option to plant the left hand more towards the center of the mat, and then turn to the right as you lift your right arm up. Nice outer hip stretch here. Plug into your right big toe mound. Hug your navel towards your spine and rotate your ribs around. One more breath in. On the exhale, release, rebend into the knee. Take your right foot back and cross it behind your left ankle. We're going to walk the hands back and take a forward fold at the back of the mat with the ankles crossed, going a little bit deeper into the hamstrings. You can bend your knees here. You could bring your fingertips to a block if you need to elevate the earth closer towards you. Try to tuck chin to chest. Bring ribs towards thigh and breathe. Release any tension here. Let everything go. Inversions are a great, great place to kind of let go, right? Everything is different upside down. Nothing is as it seems, so why not just let it go? Walk your fingertips forward enough so that you can unwind your feet. Bring them underneath your hips and walk it out, downward facing dog. Plug into your thumb and forefingers. Wrap your tricep muscles in and around. Stretch your tailbone high. Let's lift the left leg up, reach it back. On the exhale, step it between the hands, up by that left thumb. Take a breath in just to lengthen, pull that heart forward, and then breathe out as you stretch it back, coming into your runner's lunge. So plug into that big toe mound as best you can. And really pull that left hip crease back. We'll take the right hand to the center of the mat if you'd like, and then turn open in towards your twist here. So you're in towards your left leg, reaching up, feeling that big stretch on that outer hip, outer glute. Maybe even lift the left toes for a little extra spice. Breathe it in. And then breathe it out. We're gonna bend into that knee. Take your left foot back, cross it behind your right ankle, and walk your hands all the way back, coming into your second forward fold. Breathing in here. Let it all go. Try to line your toe tips up if possible. Maybe you can find yourself folding in a little bit closer here. Just appreciate where you are and what your body is doing tonight. One more breath in. And on the exhale, walk the hands out, unwind the feet, bring them underneath your hips, and then gently begin to roll yourself up to stand. Soft bend in the knees, stacking one bone on top of the other as you rise up. Let's roll out the shoulders once we come to standing. Give yourself a nice release here. Roll them in the opposite direction. Beautiful. And make your way to the top of your mat. I will turn to face you. So a nice standing, balancing hip opener. We're going to kind of bring everything together here before we move into our moon flow and slow everything down. So bring your feet either big toes to touch with a little wedge shape between the heels or feet underneath your hips, whichever variation kind of feels more natural. We're moving into Utkatasana chair pose. So bring your arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, you're going to sink down, bending your knees. So you want to have a slight tuck into your tailbone, and you want the weight to settle into your heels so that your toes can lift. If your shoulders are cranky, you could bring your arms out, right? You could bring them back behind you, maybe whatever feels good. You could cactus them, also another nice variation. And we're going to practice pouring our weight into our right foot and lifting that left foot off the mat. And then gently place it back down. Again, transferring the weight, lifting up and back down. One more time, lift it up and then bring ankle to thigh. As you feel ready, bend deeply into your standing leg and bring your hands to your heart. So we did this on our backs. Now we're practicing it in a balancing situation. Keep pressing thumbs into the heart and lifting your heart as you drop your hips back. Breathe, lower any amount you can. Beautiful. Unwind, bring the foot to the floor. Inhale, come to stand. Give your legs a little rest here. As you exhale, back to chair pose, sweep your right arm back, twist open to the right. Again, inhale, back to chair. Exhale to twist it open. Last one, inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, sink down as you twist. Inhale, come all the way up to rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. Just pause, breathe, check in. Feel what's happened over here on that right side. Nice and warm, nice and stretched out. All right, the balance part of it. Let's come to the left side. Arms sweep up and overhead. Utkatasana, other side. Dropping down. Taking any variation with the arms that feel good to you. Firm up your thighs and hug everything into the midline. It's super helpful to practice that and keep your core muscles engaged, lifting your navel in and up. Let's practice shifting weight to the left foot, right foot comes up and gently lowers down. Inhale up and down. Last time up, ankle to thigh, and then sink down as you open your right knee to the right, as you bend into your left leg. Let your thumbs travel to your heart space. Keep that right foot flexed and breathe into this side. Oh yeah, working that outer hip, stabilizing muscles, so important. Little deeper if you can. And then inhale, rise to stand, arms up and overhead. Exhale, back to chair, sweeping that left arm back as you twist to the left. Inhale, back to chair, stay low. Exhale, sweep that left arm back and twist. Last time, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale to twist it out. Inhale, rise to stand all the way up. And exhale, thumbs to the heart. Close your eyes. Be grateful for that life force you're feeling, moving through your body. Gratitude for breath. Gratitude for prana. Gratitude for this practice. Good. Now ease the eyes open, and if you aren't already standing in the center of your mat, make an adjustment. We're going to be moving from side to side, as I mentioned, for our Moon Salutation. So set yourself up, get a little drink of water if you would like. Get a little more light in here. I'm going to take a sip. And then we'll begin right in the middle of our mats. So bring your big toes to touch. Stand nice and tall. As you breathe in, we'll go ahead and sweep the arms overhead. Catch your right wrist with your left hand. And as you exhale, you're going to lean off to the left. So ground evenly through your feet as you tug on your right wrist. Send your hips to the right and breathe. Beautiful crescent moon side stretch here, standing crescent moon. Maybe in your mind's eye, you can picture that beautiful early sliver of moon after the new moon phase. Inhale as we rise up. Exhale, step your feet out, open your arms wide, and come into five-pointed star. So turn your palms up towards the sky, lift your chest, and lift your gaze. And maybe take a little hint of a back bend here. Just opening up nice and wide, feeling that star shape your body is embodying. Maybe thinking of looking up at the night sky and seeing all the beautiful stars. One more breath in. On the exhale, look forward, bend the elbows into cactus shape, turn your toes out, and then bend into the knees, goddess pose. Drop your tailbone down. Feel as if there's a wall behind you that you can lean against so that you can stack your shoulders over your hips. The tendency is for the knees to want to roll in, so work on opening them out as you drop down. Ground through your feet. Feel the energy of this pose, right? Beautiful, strong, strong pose. One more breath in. On the exhale, press into the feet and rise. Bring your arms out to a T. Turn those left toes in just a quarter turn. Right toes facing the opposite end of the mat. Trikonasana. Inhale as you stretch your chest over your front thigh. And exhale as you lower the arm down inside or outside of your calf. Turn your gaze up to your thumb if you can. Press evenly through both of your feet. Opening across the front of the chest. Breathing up through the legs. One more breath in. On the exhale, we'll rise up. Hands to hips. You're going to turn to face the short edge of your mat and just step that left foot forward so that the hips are now squaring towards that short edge. Take your hands back behind you. We're going to grab opposite elbows, adding on Stargazer Pose here. So rock the shoulders back, the front of the shoulders, so open up across the collarbones and just gently lift the gaze, coming into a gentle back bend. Stargazer Pose, imagine that you can see those stars as you're looking up. Breathing across the front of the chest, opening your heart and your throat. And then take your gaze forward, interlace your hands at the small of your back, stretch the knuckles towards your floor, open or towards the floor, open your chest, big breath in. Exhale, take it forward, pyramid pose. So you're gonna lean out and over your front thigh, lifting your arms up and away from your low back if possible. Squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back. If this variation doesn't work for you, you're welcome to grab those opposite elbows or even bring the hands down to the floor. Keep pressing into your right big toe mound. Pull that right hip back. Wrap the left hip forward, inner thigh spinning in and back. Beautiful. Gently release the hands down, bend into that front knee and step your left foot all the way back for a low lunge. Left knee remains lifted unless you need to drop it to the ground. Stretching your heart forward, breathing. Ah, so beautiful. And then we're going to take a quarter turn. So pivot to the long side. Skandasana, here's your second chance. So maybe this time you could try the balance, or maybe take a twist. You're going to sweep your right forearm in front of your right shin, plant the palm, and twist it open towards the back of your mat. Breathing into this. One more breath in. And then exhale it out. Now we'll take that full sequence and back it out from the end back to the beginning, just as if we were following the cycle of the moon. So up and over to Skandasana on this side, bending into that left knee, resting your sit bone on your heel, flexing your right toes, whoop, staying in balance or not. And then maybe taking that twist and threading your forearm across the front of your shin, plant the palm, and then turn your chest open. Looking up, rounding and breathing. One more breath in. As you exhale, unwind. We're going to pivot just a quarter turn into our low lunge. So the right knee is lifted, drag that right heel back as you lift your heart forward. Another opportunity here to really stretch out your hip flexor. Staying grounded and close to the earth. Big part of this particular practice, very grounding. Good. And then we'll straighten the front leg, hop your back foot in and take it at a little angle up towards that right hand corner, coming into pyramid pose. So ground your feet. Maybe take that arm bind by wrapping the hands behind you, find your interlace, and see if you can release the arms away from the sacrum. Squeezing the shoulder blades together. Keep working your right hip forward and your left hip back. Keep dropping into that sensation of your inner thighs rolling in and back. Beautiful. One breath in. On the exhale, release the hands down. Rise up by pressing into your strong legs. Take your hands back behind you and let's find the Stargazer Pose. So grab opposite elbows. Wrap the front of the shoulder, heads back, look up, lift up, gaze at the sky. Feet are firmly rooted into the ground. Heart and throat are open. Relax your neck. Taking another big, beautiful breath in. And then exhale to release. Release your arm bind. Turn to face the long side of your mat. And then pivot that right foot so that it's parallel to the back edge of your mat. Take your arms out. Left toes face forward. Reach all the way out. Trikonasana pose as you release your hand to the inside of your calf or to the outside or right on top of your shin, whatever works. If you have a block handy, you could also use a block. Pull energy up from the earth into the legs. Gaze up at your top thumb if that feels comfortable. Strong in your legs, balance it out with some softness. Beautiful. Rise all the way up. Turn your toes out. Heels are turned in. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, let's bend into the knees. Find our goddess pose. Dropping down. Keeping the knees wide. Maybe pressing into the balls of the feet and lifting the heels up. Just a little extra here. Creating the wobbles. Feeling that, strengthening, breathing. One more breath in. Softly release the heels down, straighten the legs, find your five-pointed star, lifting your gaze in your heart. Outstretching through the arms and the legs. Beautiful, look forward. Bring the arms overhead, step your feet together, reach for your left wrist with your right hand. And take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, lean out and over to the right as you press your hips to the left. Roll your left shoulder back. Bring your arms straight. Anchor through the feet. Beautiful. Breath in. Breath out as you rise up. Let your hands come down to your heart. Pause. Close the eyes. Breathe. Thank you so much for flowing in that beautiful full moon flow with me. Let's come to the top of our mat. We'll gently relax the arms down. Bend into the knees and just drop yourself down. Take a little seed pose here. You're just going to tuck your nose in between your knees, round your back, decompress here. Fingertips to the floor in front of you. Drawing energy inward. And then slowly walk the hands back, release the sit bones down, and come all the way down onto your back for a full body stretch. So as you stretch here, imagine you're lengthening right out from the middle of your body in both directions. Taking any movement, maybe rolling out the wrists and the ankles. And we'll take one last juicy spinal twist to close the practice before Shavasana, drawing that right knee in. Go ahead and guide the knee over to the left as you outstretch your right arm and take your gaze to the right. Soften that right shoulder. Don't worry if your right knee touches the floor or not. Just be in your body and breathe spaciousness into it. Bring out any last remaining bits of tension that may be lying along the spine. And then bring your gaze back and roll onto your back. And switch sides, inviting the left knee into the chest, guiding the knee over to the right. As that left arm outstretches, you'll turn your gaze to the left. Try to keep both shoulder blades anchored to the floor. Give yourself permission to soften into this and to let your breath start to smooth out. Good. Turn the chin back to center and then unwind and bring your body into Shavasana. Setting your feet nice and wide, letting them relax out to the sides of your mat. Walking your arms away from you, drawing your shoulder blades away from you. Palms are turned up to receive. Take any little adjustments you may need to. If you'd like to rock your head from side to side, maybe grab a blanket and lay it over your body. Personalize this and make it a comfortable space for you. This is your time to let everything go, to let the benefits of your practice begin to integrate into your body. The time where we can really absorb into every single cell our movement, our connection, our breath, our awareness, the anchoring of our body and our mind, the settling of our thoughts. All of this can come together in this final essential pose. Feel your eyelids soften. Relax the tops and the fronts of your shoulders. Let go of any tension you may still be holding in your jaw or other habitual places. It could be in your glutes, maybe in your shoulder blades. Let the weight of your body and your bones just yield softly into Mother Earth. Just let your breath breathe quite naturally through you. No effort on your part. Shifting awareness ever further inward. Giving yourself a few more moments here in peace and in quiet. And then you'll gently begin to move fingers and toes, little gentle movements. And then invite your chin to just rock from side to side. Starting to bring physical and audible and sensational awareness back and into your body. As you start to come back and into your space. Drawing the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself one beautiful last hug here. Notice how soft the body feels. Notice the relaxation that you've created. And roll off to one side. Support your head with your arm, just coming into a fetal position. Pause here. Be in gratitude. And then savoring that feeling, come on up to a seated position. We'll take our hands to meet in our heart center as you sit nice and tall, pressing palms together, lifting your heart up towards your thumbs. Being in gratitude for nature and her cycles, for being in tune with what she brings us, for understanding that we are part of the same web of life, and that all of us in this world of creation share that. Let's bring our thumbs to our third eye center, and let's bow to the light and to that shared web of life that we all exist within. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me tonight in this moon flow. I hope that it brought you some peace, that your hips feel open and happy. I look forward to seeing you again.